Welcome to Black Girl Say Something, where this black girl has something to say. And I'm just in a state of reflection, I guess you could say. A state of reflection, that's what I'll call this episode. And why am I reflecting? Because my daughter in 9 days will be 15 years old. Now, I'm reflecting in a number of different ways. I'm reflecting on where I was in life at 15 years old. I'm reflecting on life in general. I'm reflecting on the fact that when this whole divorce started, my daughter had just turned 11. Let that sink in. Time waits for no one. And what we do with our time, how we spend our time, and I know there's an adage where people say we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and we actually don't. We all have the choice of what we do with our 24 hours. And how we spend our 24 hours is going to be determined by how much income we earn, right? And I just think about how her birthday is approaching. And even though, my kids don't know the woes of being a mom and the bills and things like that, because again, we got groceries, we got food we got a roof over our head, we have the lights, we have water, we're able to still do fun things. Last weekend, we went to the STEM Fest. We go to museums. We do things. We go to the library and we have a good time because I know how to have a good time without the funds, right? I know what their interests are. I like to introduce them to things. I sit with them. I talk with them. I get to know them on a personal level. And so I know that when it comes to my parenting style and how I handle things, therapists have often told me, you're doing 110%. You're so communicative. You're so this, you're so that. But at the end of the day, I get defeated. I do. And I often think, what is going to be the end of this whole divorce? How do we get to the end? I have no clue. The end does require money. The end does require finances, right? Mediation still hasn't happened. That has to happen. It's just a crazy place to be. Without giving too much, it's just a crazy place to be. And I reflect and I see my daughter is 15 and about to be 15. And this all started and she just had turned 11. So that was in 2021. She would have been 11 and then she turned 12 and then 13 and now 14 and approaching 15 in a week and a few days. And her mom, she knows her mom's resourceful. And in my ability to be resourceful, I'm going to do her hair. I have some skills, a specific special set of skills that I don't share at all. As a matter of fact, I did for a small period of time in my late teens to make extra money. So I'm going to do her a sew-in because that's what she wants. I had already purchased the hair. Funny enough, just before the year was ending and they were talking about the extra taxes on imported goods and stuff, I had purchased hair in bulk so that anytime she needs her hair braided or anything like that, or I need braids, we're not having to order hair. We have hair. So that should last us at least between her and I a couple years, a year, 2 years at least. So that's me being resourceful. She wants her nails done. We can buy her some press-ons, some custom press-ons. That's within the budget. It's just a reflective space. And I think about how my mom, she had me when she was 16. So she hadn't even been 15 long enough and she was pregnant and had me at the age of 16. And I was 14 turning 15. My mom had another baby. And that baby just turned 24, February 24th. And he's no longer a baby. He's a grown man, but I had to help my mom take care of him. I couldn't go to the after-school programs. I couldn't enjoy certain pleasures of high school because I had to drop off. And it was always I had to drop him off or pick him up from school. And I was given that responsibility. There was no conversation of if this is going to work for you or not. It was just, as a kid, you were just told what to do, and there was no voice, there was no reasoning. And so it brings me to this space where I'm like, I I currently am not in therapy because of insurance differences or whatever. But with my children, I'm in their therapy sessions with them for a portion of it, and just in a way to show them, hey, you can trust me and we can have conversations and we can communicate clearly, because there's some seed of discord that was planted long ago before I even knew it was planted, where it's like they're in this space where they don't want to trust me. Not both of them, not collectively, but individually, they have had their experiences with their dad that leads me to one. I had said long ago, I felt like he used to tell them not to listen to me, and only for me to find out that actually was true, which is crazy. But I don't want to ramble on this episode too much. I just wanted to come in and really reflect on, wow, I have a 15-year-old, y'all. I have a 15-year-old. I'm giving her all of the tools that she needs. And I'm going to say, when she was about 8 years old, I used to grieve her birthday coming. And it was strange because it wasn't like a sadness, but there was like a sadness. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't want to say it's not like a sadness, but there was a sadness that used to come over me from her first birthday up until she was like 8 or 9, maybe. I want to say maybe 10, because it was during COVID that I got the help that I needed to deal with that. And it was this sadness of, oh my gosh, almost like not a regret, not a grief. I don't know. I have to go look at my journal and report back to y'all what the emotion was. But it was just a very emotional time, because it was like, oh my gosh, this can't be the same baby that I was going to abort. This can't be the same baby that I was not going to have, only for her to be here and me to watch her grow and flourish. And I don't know what that was, that I used to always get so sad when her birthday would come. And now I don't have that anymore. I also think because her dad would kind of throw that in my face, like close to her birthday. Oh, you almost, I don't even want to say it, but he would throw that in my face. And so it's just very weird. I posted a video on TikTok, and it's a clip of the episode that's actually going to drop on my daughter's birthday. It's going to be over on Patreon, so the link for that would be in the description of this episode. If I can figure out how to post it over on Spotify, I know you may not be able to see it on Apple Podcasts, but I believe Spotify has a video option. But for now, I'll just let you know it will be over on Patreon. It is a video podcast episode with a special guest. So I definitely would like for y'all to tune into that. Show your support for the podcast, because as you know, the podcast isn't generating any income, but the way we do that is by putting subscriber-only episodes, putting things on Patreon. So I will be posting more over there as it relates to the podcast. So that link will be in the description of this episode. So go ahead and interact with that and let me know what you think. You are able, I believe, to see a preview of it. So follow us on TikTok, because I did post a preview over there, of course. So anywho, I don't want to get off topic. So I'm dropping that episode on her birthday. And it just is such an interesting place to be when you know somebody who's kind of going through the same thing as you, but not necessarily. And I have another friend who's in the middle of a divorce as well. And we just always kind of talk about our legal battles and, talking about our lawyers and different things like that. And it's just, divorce is interesting. Marriage is easy to get into, but getting out that marriage is hard, especially when you have assets, especially when, you have someone who's like, I want half the assets, but I don't want the liabilities. I want half the assets, but I don't want to pay child support. That is so strange when I say it out loud. I mean, I'm just pondering on that. Like, that is literally what was said. It's in black and white. It's in documentation. And I'm just like, wow, that's it's so strange when I say it out loud, and I'm saying it to y'all. But for the purpose of moving forward, for the advancement of my life, I've been taking some meetings. The meetings have seemed to be promising and fruitful. Profitable and fruitful, I should say. Profitable and fruitful. And I'm looking forward to it. I started back swimming because the weather had been so shaky, so me and the kids haven't really been able to get to the pool to swim. So I started back doing that, and we're going to take family swim lessons because I realized if you're not swimming regularly, it is a skill you can lose. I didn't know that. So we're going to take swimming lessons in March. Of course, March is the new year. It's we coming into the new year, right? So I'm looking forward to that and the peace that comes with everything new. A new month, new life, my daughter's new year, my birthday as well, because you know what, this day that I gave birth, I did an episode talking about that once upon a time. So yeah, with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in. Like, y'all really been running up the listens over here on the podcast, and I appreciate that. I will leave some links in the description of this episode. I will also drop ways that you can make donations and support my efforts over here on the podcast, because yes, I'm just a girl with something to say, but this girl who has something to say needs to generate some income. So I'll leave some information in the description of this episode going forward, because people have asked, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll do that, as well as Patreon. That's going to drop March 8th. Look out for that. Interact with the link. Follow us. There's no fee to subscribe, but as we post episodes and generate the episodes over there, it would just be per episode where you can have access to it. So thank you for tuning in. And remember, you can tune into Black Girl Say Something every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, wherever you listen to podcasts. And I look forward to saying even more. Follow us on TikTok, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube, and we are growing 1,000 and some change deep, and growing 32,000, I believe, on TikTok, and growing Facebook. Y'all know we over there. We're growing, and we have Patreon. So check us out and get into it. Thank you for listening.